Welcome to the You're in Charge podcast, prioritizing your self-care without sacrifice. I'm your host, Heather Dumas, healthy lifestyle strategist, owner and founder of HD Transformations Coaching Company. I am passionate about helping you juggle all the balls and look and feel like a badass doing it. Imagine that you really lived in that world where you had the cartoon angels and devils on your shoulders, and every excuse that you made for why you didn't put yourself first, why you didn't do that workout, why you didn't choose the salad over the French fries. What if that turned into a little devil or gremlin or something on your shoulder? How many of those would be riding around saying, "It's okay, just take the easy way out. It's okay, we can do it another day. You don't really need to do that. You're just fine exactly as you are." I bet you there would be a lot. I know for me in my lifetime, my shoulder would have been weighed down a lot because I have made and still make all kinds of excuses when I just don't want to do something. And I'm not saying that maybe you don't want to do it. I'm just saying that maybe not right now. This whole prioritizing self-care thing, it sounds good. It sounds great until you're in the moment and you've got a million things to do. You've got a million emails to respond to. Your phone's blowing up with texts. Your kids need you. The dog's hungry, all the things. And in that moment, that's when that little creature on your shoulder says, "It's okay." So, how do you set yourself up to not have to be in that situation to where temptation to give up, quit, skip, take the shortcut doesn't even happen? Well, it's not as hard as you think. However, there are a few things that you have to do, some bumpers you have to set for yourself so that you don't really easily slide into the "I'll do it tomorrow" thing or I'll do it next week thing. So, the one of the things is fear. Fear is often the thing that is holding us back. And you're probably thinking, "Well, I'm not afraid. I do what I want." Maybe there's a fear you're not aware of. Maybe there's something underneath the back of your mind that when you think about doing the thing, you get that feeling, that little bubbles in your gut, the little sinking. What does it feel like for you? I don't know what that feels like for you. For me, that's what it feels like, bubbles or my stomach sinking. I know that our fears can seem completely irrational and even silly. I've talked about a client that I had that was afraid of not being able to have chocolate. And I say that and kind of giggle, but for her, it was very real. It was a very real thing. I've had clients that were afraid that, they wouldn't be able to enjoy their popcorn at the movie with their family, or they wouldn't be able to go on vacation because they wouldn't be able to have the thing they always have when they're on vacation, or they'd be too strict or whatever. So ask yourself, what is it that maybe you may not be calling it fear? Maybe it's something you're concerned about, worried about, thinking about. Um, that would be holding you back from taking that next step, from committing fully to yourself. Um, Fear of failure. If you've tried things, if you've worked with other coaches, if you've tried other programs, if you've done different diets, so to speak, and then failed, none of us likes failing. Failing sucks, especially for those of us that are type A perfect people. Failing is not an option, right? So if we're afraid we're going to fail, we just don't do it. If I know, for example, I took a whitewater paddleboarding course and it was the hardest thing I've ever done. And I love paddleboarding, but paddleboarding on whitewater is a whole different ballgame. And I was sucking at it. And I hated that feeling. I hate not being good at something. I hate sucking. I hate failing. So that was an exception. I often will resist doing things that I know I'm not going to be good at, or that I know that I'm not going to be the best at. because I like to be the best in the room. I don't know about you, but I like to be the best. I like to be the top. I like to be the winner. First or last, Ricky Bobby. So if I don't think I can win, if I don't think I'm going to be the best, if I don't think I'm going to be successful, I don't do it. So maybe that's what's holding you back. What about not being good enough? What if you start it, but you don't do well? You don't quite fail. You just aren't enough. That was mine. That was my story for a very long time. And it still comes back, creeps itself onto my shoulder and says, "You're not good enough." But I know I am because I've done the work. But I had to work with several coaches and I had to do the work. I had to get in the driver's seat and make the changes. I had to take myself down the road that I was uncomfortable, that was scary, that was not fun. There were moments where it was very much not fun. But because I had a coach that I could lean on that said, it's okay, it's going to get better, it's going to be worth it. Just keep moving through the mud. You'll get to the other side. I did. And now I can look back and go, wow, that wasn't as scary. I didn't fail. I am good enough. So there are several ways that you can approach this. Sometimes it's just seeing it. Sometimes you just have to have someone shine the mirror in your face. Sometimes you have to talk yourself through it. There are a lot of people that, write affirmations down and put them in places. That's what I did for a while. I had one on my visor in my car. So every time I got in my car, I read it, my little sticky note. I've had them on my mirrors. People put them in their, on the refrigerator, wherever. So maybe that will work for you. Yes, you are good enough, or I want to be healthier, or whatever your mantra or your affirmation statement is. Other people, that doesn't work at all. Some people just need to, they have to find a way to do it that's fun. Ashley, my old podcast partner, everything had to be fun for her. We used to joke about it all the time. And I can't remember what her Enneagram number is, but it's the one that always has to have fun. I think it's 4. And so we would joke about how if she was going to be successful at making a change, if she was going to be successful at reaching a goal, that it had to be fun. She had to gamify it. So maybe that's what you need to do. But it's important to step back and ask yourself, am I scared? Am I afraid of something? Is that why I'm not getting there? Is that why I'm not doing the thing? It's entirely possible. It's also entirely possible that you're just making excuses. Excuses are just a reason to fail. It does go back to some fear, but sometimes you just make excuses because you flat out, deep down, don't think you want it. You maybe say that you want it for other people. Maybe everyone else is getting healthy because it's the new year, and so you decided that's what you need to do, but you don't actually want it. If you don't actually want it, you will continue to make excuses and you will continue to not do it. And that just feels terrible. Why would you want to set yourself up to feel like shit, to feel like a loser? That's a stupid idea. So stop doing that. But basically, the excuses that we often make for ourselves are, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. It'll be, my family will be inconvenienced, or it will make them feel bad, make someone feel bad. Those are the most common. And you can make that work if that's what you really want. If you really don't want to do it, if you really want to fail, you can make that I don't have time work. You can make that I don't have the money work. You can make the, this will hurt so-and-so's feelings work. But if you really want it, you will make the time. You will find the money. You will tell that person to fuck off because you don't care about how they, that it made them feel bad that you got healthy. Whatever it is, you will make it happen, because if you've accomplished as much as you have so far in life, there's no reason you can't set your mind to do something else. If you have been successful in your career, if you've been, found the man or woman of your dreams and married him, if you've created the house and the white picket fence that you always dreamed of, then there's no reason you can't reach another goal. There's no reason that you can't now go and put yourself at the top of the list and decide that your body, your health, that's the new goal to conquer. You can make all the excuses in the world, but at the end of the day, you either decide that you're going to do it or you're not. So if you're in the process of making excuses, let me help you out. Here are some ways that you can talk yourself into it. Number one, if the excuse is, I don't have time, ask yourself, where am I spending my time? I have a couple different planners on my website that you can use. I have one that's dream big for the whole next 12 months that you can use since we're at the beginning of the year, or just the daily planners. But sit down and look at where you're spending your time, first of all. And then you can have a little argument with yourself. You can say, well, you actually are spending a lot of time on Netflix, or you're spending a lot of time on your phone. We all have, ways of seeing the screen time on which app on our phone now, which is a blessing and a curse because it's one of those things that just tells you flat out, yeah, you thought you were pulling back, but you've spent, 19 hours on Facebook this week. So you can argue with yourself that way. You can convince yourself that way if you like that term better. If it is the money thing, same thing. Look at where you're spending your money. I love Rocket Money. It's a great app because it tells you exactly where you're spending all your money. And it also reminds you if you have a bunch of subscriptions that you forgot that you had, which I tend to do. So, $6, $6, $6, it adds up. So find something like that. There are plenty of apps, there are plenty of tools that you can use that can help you figure out where you're spending your money and where it can be better allocated towards you. And the myth that eating healthy is expensive is total bullshit. Frozen vegetables are $1 a bag still, even though everything else is more expensive. I think they're like $1.50 now, but nonetheless, they're still cheap. And they are just as good as fresh vegetables, especially if the fresh vegetables are out of season and they've been shipped in dark containers and picked well before they were fresh. The ones that are frozen are picked when they're at their peak of freshness. So sometimes they have more vitamins and stuff. And even if you don't care about that, they're cheaper. Okay. Cooking is always cheaper than going out every single time. So the money thing doesn't really cut it for me with the healthy eating. Gym memberships are cheap. They're $10 a month. So that doesn't give you an excuse. Coaching. Yeah. Coaching's an investment, but I've invested in no less than a half a dozen coaches, and only one time have I gotten burned. And as I was signing up with that person, I knew it was a bad idea, but I still hit the buy button anyway. So I tell you that to tell you that most coaches out there that are worth their salt, you can research, you can talk to, you can talk to their clients. I'll give you my clients' phone numbers if you want. They're happy to talk to you and tell you about their experience. That's how transparent I am. So if you're looking at joining a program, hiring a coach, whatever, signing up for anything, do your research. Talk to people that have done it and been successful. Talk to people that have done it and not been successful. I don't have very many of those for you to refer you to, but I can definitely refer you to the ones that were successful because they all are if they actually do it. Get on a phone call, get on a Zoom call, read all their blogs, watch all their videos, stalk them on social media. But that investment, just like if you invest in a car, if you invest in a house, you invest in I don't know, new furniture, anything that's a purchase that's going to make a change in your life, anything that you're putting money in that's going to make a change in your life, you do your research. Even if it's a freaking dishwasher. I don't know about you, but I get on and look at reviews or read consumer reports, whatever, before I go buy a dishwasher. And dishwashers are a hell of a lot cheaper than coaching programs most of the time. And they're not that significant in your life. And so if you put that much energy into looking into and researching something that you're going to just throw dirty dishes in, I would encourage you to put at least that much effort into something that could potentially change your life. So, lastly, the myth of the quick fix. Now, last week I talked about the quick fixes, so I won't beat it down. You can go back and watch that episode, but there's no quick fix, period. There are no shortcuts. There are no easy ways in life to do anything that is worth doing. Like, what's that saying? Anything worth doing is worth doing well. Well, it's also worth doing the steady, slowish way. My way isn't slow, but it's slower than some. And that's for a reason, because it takes time to create change. It takes time for your body to change. It takes time for your body to get used to what's going on and to react to what's going on. And it takes time to shift your life. If you're used to going out for pizza every Friday night, and then you're used to getting Chinese on Wednesday or whatever it is, it takes time for you and your family to start to make changes in schedule and in just mindset and habits to get used to the fact that on Friday nights, instead of going out for pizza, now we make pizza at home as a family together, right? So it takes a little bit different approach. But at the end of the day, faster is not better. The way easy come, easy go as far as weight gain and that sort of thing. So there are no good excuses. Fear is valid, absolutely valid, and it's easy to overcome. What you need is a plan. You need an expert who cares about you and wants you to succeed, doesn't just want your money. And you need patience to make it happen in a nice, consistent, steady way. Not wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, get rich quick overnight. I do have a quiz that you can take that will help you with the fear/excuse part. It takes 2 minutes. It's called the Healthy Lifestyle Quiz. Answer a couple questions, and I will shoot you back an email with your personalized response as to what is holding you back. Maybe it's a fear, maybe it's an excuse, maybe it's a little bit of both. I'm going to point it out to you. So be prepared. Don't come at me with your, heart on your sleeve. Be a little tough. You can take it. And then I'm going to give you a way to get past it. Some actionable feedback, some actionable steps that you can take right now. Sometimes it's as simple as just setting out your gym clothes. Like this isn't rocket science. I'm not like giving you something that is, a big thing to do. It's not going to take you 100 hours to do. Just a couple little things. I'm just going to shine a mirror in your face, say, hey, this is the excuse. Here's how you get past it. Ready, go. And I'm tying it to a 90s sitcom character because that's fun. So I will link to that as well. It's also on my website and my social media. But take the quiz and then shoot me a message and let me know what you think of your feedback. If it's accurate, tell me. If it's not accurate, please tell me, because I want to make sure that I'm hitting the mark too. So let me know. And then when you take advantage of the advice and it works, I'm going to need you to post that on social media and tag me so that everyone knows that it is easy to make these changes. It's easy to get past excuses. It's easy to get past the fear. You just have to call it for what it is, because you are in charge, my friend. You are in charge. You can get past all the things and look and feel like a badass forever and ever and ever. Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, you're in charge. You're the only one who can create the life and the body you desire. You and only you. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to cheer you on and occasionally to give you the kick in the ass you need to make it happen. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. If you found value in today's episode, please hit subscribe. It'll bring all the newest episodes to the top of your list. You won't have to worry about it. One less thing. And I would love for you to share it with your most stressed out, frazzled friend. She needs it even more than you do. If you have a question or a topic that you'd like me to cover, reach out, shoot me a message on any of the socials or directly on my website. I would love to hear your idea, your question, and I'm always looking for new ones. Until next time, keep being the badass you are, and remember, you are in charge.